I'm Nick.
Kevin.
Thank you for meeting with me
Kevin
today.
Watts.
Yes, tell me a little about what you do before we start. Before we start.
I'm a pilot with Southwest Airlines, and I started with U.S. Air Force. Flew for them for 15 years, and now I've been 15 years with Southwest Airlines.
Where did you fly with the Air Force?
I started off after pilot training, C-21s, which is a Learjet, and it's basically being a corporate pilot for the military.
Flying the high level.
Yeah, we flew VIPs for very important people, like I guess what they use, colonels and generals for the military, and we also flew some civilians, people out of the Pentagon and Congress and stuff sometimes.
Right.
And the purpose of that was to age the pilot force, so we could fly a C-21 cheaply versus a C-141 expensive, so we can get our flight time less expensively.
And versus flying the big heavy transports for little.
Right, so they're trying to age the experience cheaply, and then later on we'll go off to fly something bigger, which I went off and flew the AC-130 gunship. Did that for 7 years in Fort Walton Beach, Florida. And from there I went to T-37s, which is the primary trainer. And that was in Del Rio, Texas, and that was just teaching the new guys how to fly.
Yeah.
You go to pilot training, that's the first plane you fly back then.
So a lot of those out of Shepherd.
Yeah. They're gone now. They've replaced them with a T-6 Texas.
Yeah.
Finally.
That's what was it, 37 you said?
T-37.
T-37. They had a static out of it at Shepherd, and then they had the 36 as well.
Yeah.
Static.
When I went through pilot training in 1987, the T-37 was an old airplane. They had 80 to 100,000 student landings on them back then. And then when I went back 14 years later, they're the same airplanes.
Yeah.
They're a workhorse.
Oh yeah. What inspired or who inspired you to get into the Air Force and flying?
You know, I didn't have a master plan or anything. I grew up and I knew I was interested in space kind of stuff, like a lot of kids are, boys are. And I chose aerospace engineering at Texas A&M University because I had ideas about maybe going to the space program. I didn't have a big plan, but
was there a big space program going on when you were a kid? Or?
It was a lot more than it is today, but probably as much as it ever, back on the space shuttle.
Yeah.
When in fact, the space shuttle, the Challenger that blew up, that was when I was in college. But this was before that. So I had these ideas. I had an autographed picture from an astronaut. I had ideas. I didn't really have a master plan. When I was at A&M, I was in the Corps of Cadets at A&M. And my sophomore year, I guess, the Trigon offered me a contract, a pilot scholarship to go in the Air Force and fly. And that was the first time I kind of thought about it. I really wasn't planning on going in the Air Force. And I didn't think long. It was a short period of time. I was like, that sounds like a neat thing to do, and it would be on the path to being an astronaut. And that's what got me started. And that was the first time I thought about flying was when they offered me that contract. And then when I got out of pilot training, I knew that was enough work. I didn't want to be an astronaut because that'd be a whole lot more work.
A lot more buttons.
I was happy with the flying. I was happy.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do more than that. So I knew after a year of pilot training that I probably was never going to be an astronaut.
Yeah. Does Challenger affect that at all? Or?
No, I just, it's a lot of work, a lot of brains. It's a level that I figured I probably wasn't ever going to achieve, even back then.
Yeah,
I didn't want to work that hard.
I remember when I was little, I heard Columbia when they blew up.
Yeah, wait, was it Columbia that blew up? Or Challenger?
Both of them. Challenger was the
right.
first one, and then back in the 80s, I believe.
Yeah, I mean,
And then 2004-ish, I think, was Columbia.
yeah, I was thinking I got them mixed up. You're right.
Yeah. It was, I remember going home, that was sketchy. So in college was when you decided that's what you wanted to do. Then
In college.
yeah, how far did you get in the Corps of Cadets?
4 years.
4 years. All 4. That's awesome. How did you get to Southwest? Did you go directly from Air Force or?
Yes, when I got out of the Air Force, I started off with American Airlines, and I was still in training when Southwest called, I'd put my applications in with everybody. And I kind of secretly always wanted to be with Southwest. When I was a kid, about your age, I was flying on Southwest.
Did they have the cool liveries back then? The cool liveries?
No, not the paint schemes, but it was new and it was cheap. You could, I think it was like $20 to get a ticket to go to San Antonio from Houston to go see my dad. And I flew unaccompanied, and so it was the only airline I was really familiar with. And when I got out of the service, I thought about them a lot. And I left American to go to Southwest because back then American was a big, mature airline with mature airline issues, and Southwest was a up-and-coming airline, and it was growing, and they were doing everything well, and I figured if I got on with them, and I never got furloughed, and the company didn't go out of business, I won, even though they weren't flying to the exotic places or paying as much money. And it worked out well for me to get on with Southwest. American, after 9/11, this was a year before 9/11, and after 9/11, it was hard on all the airlines.
Oh yeah, my mom was a travel agent, and she had to change jobs for that. So you got out of the Air Force about 2000-ish?
I did. I got out in November of 99, and I started with American January 4th of 2000, and then I started with Southwest March.
So that's when they were still flying. They were flying in the 80s at that point.
They were in. My job was going to be a flight engineer in a 727 going to Miami. And I just finished my oral check ride for the 727 at Southwest called.
And you got to fly the 737s or work on the 737s.
That's all we have at Southwest. So that's all I fly.
Whenever I go to the airport, I always look up the tail number before we get on the plane. And pretty much all of Southwest, about 83-ish, 80s, 737s.
What do you mean 83?
1983, made back then.
We have, right now we have 300 models. Those are the old ones, a few 500 models. And then we have a whole bunch of 700 models. They're pretty new. And then we have some 800 models, which are
brand new.
Yeah. Some of our 700s are brand new.
800s are the ones sporting the new logos?
That new paint scheme, it's on some 700s that I see in and out of field. I'm not sure. The plan is, as they need a new paint job, they're going to get the new logo. They're not going to go out and just repaint everything. So it'll be slow seeing them come on.
Are they going to keep, do you know if they're going to add any new of the special paint schemes?
They always do that, but they never tell anybody. They do it, they plan it out, and then they put it in the news, and this is the new one, and you find out the same day I find out.
Yeah, Texas one, Florida one.
There's maybe 15 of them now. I can't tell you. I don't watch all that stuff real closely, but
my friends are all aviation geeks, so we keep up to date with it.
There's Arizona, there's Baltimore, there's a new Herb Kelleher one that just came out. There's now we got the new Southwest paint scheme. There's a bunch of them.
Why do you like doing it?
What do I like flying?
Yeah.
I liked it in the military because it was real challenging.
Yeah.
And it was a great, challenging job to go to every day that, I was doing something. I wasn't behind the desk with people. I like it at Southwest for a different reason. I enjoy working with the people. The flying is easy and relaxing. It's not a hard job. I'm not really that challenged. Maybe once or twice a month we have a hard day where we have weather and maintenance issues and we earn pay.
Early in the mornings, like fog.
Yeah, some of those. But that's only just a handful of days out of the month. The other days it's just a relaxing job. We've got nice people to work with, and it's not very stressful. I like that. I joke with, it's not a joke though, but I talk about, since I got out of the military, I work about 30% of the effort I used to do in the military, carry about 5% of the stress, and then pay me more money. So it's a good gig since I got out. I mean, I enjoyed being in, but I enjoy being out.
Did you have any close calls or any sketchy landings in the Air Force?
No.
All nice flying?
any real issues. I mean, we've had a few emergencies and shut an engine down every now and then, but that's when you got 4 engines and you shut one down, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, and Southwest has a pretty good safety record as well. So, what is your favorite?
You know, it's so redundant. We got so many backup systems. We got
FAA is kicking in.
well, no, just the way the planes are built. We have 4 hydraulic pumps. One works fine. Actually, you don't even have to have one. It's still fine.
Yeah.
2 engines, one works fine. We got 3 radios. You don't even need one. But, so it's got a lot of redundancy.
All right. What was your favorite experience from either the Air Force or from Southwest?
I was thinking about this earlier, and I think out of the flying, what I enjoyed the absolute best out of almost 25 years of flying is just flying solo in the D-37 when I was an instructor. Every now and then we would take one up for currency training, and just by myself, and I'd go up and do a little aerobatics and come back and do a little pattern work away, and I was by myself. I didn't have to deal with instructing anything, and I didn't have a real agenda or a mission. I enjoyed that the most.
Yeah, that's stressful.
When you're in pilot training, you have a few solo flights, but you've got such an agenda and so much going on, and you're not relaxed.
Yeah.
And then after pilot training, for me, I went into heavies, so I've always flown 2 pilots. C-21s, AC-130, you have a crew of 15, and C-21, there's a crew of 2. And even in pilot training, I always have a student. And so the few times they let us go up solo, I think I enjoyed the most. Since I've been out of the military and Southwest Airlines, there's always 2 pilots up there. So.
Yeah, was there when you went into the Air Force, was there a specific aircraft you were looking at, or was it just I want to fly?
I didn't have a plan. When you're in pilot training, the lure tends to be to go fly fighters.
Yeah.
And that's the thing to do. And I think I figured out when I was in this phase 2 and T-38s that I wanted to fly heavies. That would be a better fit for me. And it was. There's a different personality on the fighter side than on the heavy side.
If you had to name a fighter jet that would be your favorite, which one would you choose?
Well, I always wanted to fly that F-16. I got an aerospace engineering degree, and I remember talking about the F-16 a lot because it was a fairly new airplane back when I was in school. It was fly-by-wire. It had a bubble canopy. It had a lot of new things that seemed very interesting to me. And I always thought that would be like the cream to fly. Even though the F-15's got more thrust and carries a lot more coordinates, now they have all these new planes.
F-22.
Stealth, vectors that they fly sideways, a bunch of crazy stuff nowadays. But the F-16 would have been a plane to fly back then, and for the airlines, I always thought the 747 would have been cream to cream plane to fly. Just was a good looking, sexy, big.
Oh yeah.
But I don't think I'll ever fly a 747. Southwest won't get those.
Yeah, stay regional for now.
I think we might, if we go bigger, it'll probably be the 787 one day. They go more international, maybe.
As long as they stick with Boeing.
I think we will.
Yeah. Where did you realize that? We already went over this with the A&M story and how you got talked into going into the Air Force. But what exactly during your high school years or childhood wanted you with the space program?
I don't know. Maybe being in Houston, being close to NASA. I had a picture from an astronaut that I met, and I can't remember how I met the guy, but I had it in my wall for many years, and
It's like your hero.
I guess maybe because I'm 51 years old, I don't remember all the details. It's kind of vague, but I knew that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah, since I was little, it was again being a pilot is something I've noticed. It's not quite exactly something you're inspired to do. It's something you're basically, I say, kind of as being born with it. So
I think there's that kind of person, which is makes the most energetic pilot. Somebody like me that enjoys it, but I kind of fell into it. I didn't really have a master plan. And then you have some guys that do it just for a job, and they saw that looked like a good career field, and that's what they do, and they enjoy it just fine. That's important to them. I do fly with some guys I don't think enjoy flying. They're nervous. They're not having a good time out there. I see that sometimes. Not very many, maybe one out of 100. Like that.
I've had a couple of guys tell me that pilots are scared of heights.
Really?
Yeah, there's a aeronautical engineer at Bell Helicopter that used to be a cadet commander at Surveyor Patrol.
Right.
He was scared of heights, and he actually got a chance to fly a Piper Cub, which was one of his favorite aircrafts. And he actually decided, since the door opens in flight, let's test if I'm scared of heights or not. And he looked over, and after he opened the door in flight, and he was like, "Yep, I'm scared of heights." An open canopy. Well, thank you for meeting with me.
Oh, we're done? Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Nick.